The whole thing was an absolute shambles.
Oh god, yeah.
Through the pictures, we were obviously not happy with how it was going.
Thank you, Marlon.
Until death do you part, or for as long as you can
be bothered.
Hello and welcome back to our little corner of YouTube. We are Molin, Tom, Charlie and Isabella. We've been battling cancer, living in a van and renovating a little cabin in the Swedish countryside. But the last few weeks have been dedicated to preparing for our wedding. We're finally getting married. But will it all go to plan? Tag along. We're back.
We're back,
We're back. And we're married. Yay!
Yeah. Whole new life.
I know. Does it feel different?
Very.
Start of the next chapter.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. A whole new relationship.
Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The old ball and chain, eh?
Oi.
It's took us a few days to come back down to earth, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. A part of me almost feels like it was good that it was raining in the morning and stuff, because then the focus was like, what do we do if it rains? And we started a whole new setup instead of like started to get nervous or anything. We didn't have time to be nervous, did we?
No, we didn't have time to be nervous at all. Both of us said that we didn't feel nervous at all until we saw people like outside starting to gather up. Obviously, we spent the whole of the morning of the ceremony setting up a second ceremony place.
Yeah, the funny thing was like the Friday, we told people to go home early. We were calm and relaxed and we were like, we got like 5 things to do on Saturday morning when we wake up. We were like, we're gonna have such a relaxed morning, fiddle around. We got mates coming at 11 to get sorted and have a lunch and a beer and a glass of wine or whatever and just relax and get ready. Yeah. It did not happen like that.
It didn't happen like that, did it? It started like that. Saturday morning started really nice and calm. We woke up, we had a cup of coffee, we went out, we started setting bits up.
Yeah.
And it was literally, as soon as I took the chairs out and put them out for the ceremony, I put 2 chairs out and a blanket and a drop of rain.
Yeah.
And then another drop and another drop. And then all of a sudden it started.
It was funny because my mum rang me and she was like, do you need anything for the ceremony if it rains? I was like, no, we're super calm, there's no rain, we're fine. Just go and pick the food up for us and it's fine. Yeah. And then like 20 minutes later, I rang her in panic and I was like, you need to buy this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, it all changed in the space of like 20 minutes, didn't it? So obviously in last week's video, you saw us bury the sausage. we did the whole sausage ritual, which didn't... Sausage ritual. It sounded so weird.
It sounded so casual. You know, we did the whole sausage ritual.
That sausage thing. And I was going to say it didn't work, but it might have worked.
It did.
It might have worked because it might have been worse than that otherwise if we hadn't have buried the old bratwurst.
Yeah, old. That's why it didn't work, mate. It was old. Yeah, so then on the Saturday morning, you and my uncle and my dad started setting up the inside when we realised that we needed a plan B. Yeah. And me and my mum started to finish off the arch. When people started coming, the people we invited a bit earlier, we were like, instead of saying, we got lunch and let's sit down and relax and enjoy this morning and chat and get sorted, we were like, you need to do this and this and this and
we need this doing, we need this doing, we need this doing.
Yeah. Yes, I think everybody were doing stuff into the last minute, like the last hair needle, the bobby pin went into my hair like the second the register went into the ceremony place.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It was chaotic.
Yeah, but it was very us, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Maybe we should do that story now. The registrar.
Oh yeah, the registrar. She was something else.
Yeah.
So the registrar, the person that actually stands there and marries you. We've been in contact with her quite a few times before. Yeah. And the plan was, the ceremony was at 1:30 and she was showing up at least 15 minutes before that so that we could go through what she was going to talk about, what was going to be said and stuff.
We've had everything agreed on an email, like a schedule. Yeah. But then she was like, we'll walk through it 15 minutes before and then I can get to know you so we can say some personal stuff as well. Yeah. That did not happen.
It didn't happen because she showed up at 1:30. Literally as on the minute when the ceremony was supposed to start. So we were obviously like not with the guests or anything. We were sort of in the back waiting for her, and she just never came.
No.
And then it was like, okay, well, we've told everybody that it's 1:30. It's 1:30, and everybody's here now, so we'll just do it. So the music played, and we walked out and everything. And literally, you can see on the video that we've got of the ceremony, you can see the first second that we meet her. You can actually see us saying, hello, I'm Tom.
Shaking
hello.
hands, yeah.
Nice to meet you. And it was like we'd never seen her before. Obviously, first impressions, dressed in all black with a black feather in her
It
hair.
looks like we were going to the funeral.
Yeah, she looked like she was at the wrong ceremony, didn't
Yeah.
she? She was at a funeral ceremony instead.
Yeah.
And we'd been in contact before, so I wasn't too nervous. I thought she knows who we are. She knows what sort of thing we want. She knows that we're going to do vows. And we had a little segment for my friend Nick, who passed away last year, because Nick originally was meant to play at the wedding.
Yeah.
So we said we'll play one of his songs and stuff like that. So she knew the running order, really. So I wasn't too worried. However, the whole thing was an absolute shambles.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, the ceremony was just shocking.
Yeah.
It was like everything that she was talking about was nothing to do with us.
No. She was talking about history, like Swedish history.
Yeah.
It all started with her saying, like, the history about why witnesses were needed and
Yeah.
how all of that was working. And it was so long. And you can see on our faces on every single video, they were like, we are not interested about this.
Yeah.
Like, what on earth is going on?
Because to start with, it was like she might just be sort of like gliding over it, and we were both sort of like, oh, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
And you can see, through the pictures, we were obviously not happy with how it was going. And then she started talking about this Gustav Vasa, who, just basically a Swedish history story. And it was the least romantic story you could
Yeah.
possibly imagine.
Yeah.
A bloke who was marrying off his daughter because he needed money.
Yeah.
And then in the end, well, they died, and
Yeah.
we're like, okay. It just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then it got less and less romantic the
Yeah.
more the ceremony went on.
Yeah.
We exchanged rings.
Yeah. And she was like, if you got rings to whoever you got.
Have you got rings? Yeah, we've got rings. Yeah, go on then. Give them to each other if you want. Okay, yeah, cool. We'll give each other the rings then, I suppose. Because normally, like, they sort of walk you through it, and you can put this ring on Molin's finger, and that signifies that whatever.
Yeah.
It was literally like, go on, and you can
You do it.
give it to each other then
Yeah.
if you want.
And then when that was done, she was like, you can kiss or hug or whatever you want to do now then.
You can kiss or whatever if you feel like it. All right. And then, like, there's like the way to say like the ceremony. It's like until death do us part or whatever. It was like until death do you part, or for as long as you can
be bothered.
It was like the least romantic thing. And then she said something about us having our own rooms.
Yeah. She said something about like that now you're a team and now you're together and now you need to spend all your time together basically. But she was like, it's good if you got separate rooms because you do get sick of each other. All right.
And it's like, it's just so like not us. Like we've lived in a van.
Yeah.
Like, do you
There's
think we've
no
got
rooms.
Do you think we've had do you think we live with our own separate rooms? Like it was just so not tailored to us.
Yeah, not at all. She got no bloody idea, did she? And
No.
she forgot the vows.
And then at the last of all, she forgot that we were going to exchange vows. Me and Molin had written vows for each other. And it went to the end and it was like, okay, well, yep, thank you then. And then luckily, our Toastmasters, the two people that had helped us organise stuff, Alice and Jordan, noticed, or Alice had realised that we'd not done vows. Alice had managed to get the message across to Jordan anyway.
Yeah, and he like ran up and stopped the whole thing. He was like, before anybody leaves, we forgot this really important thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a small little bit that was missed. So now we're going to leave you with Tom and Molin to do their vows to each other.
So, like, hats off to the Toastmasters, to Alice and
Oh,
Jordan,
yeah.
because they absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, because we were still there whispering to each other. We were like,
Like-
what do we do now? Do we say something? But that feels really awkward.
Yeah,
And do we do it later? How are we going to do this?
it was like, okay, we can just make a bit of a joke of it later, and we can do it during the dinner or
Yeah.
whatever. But no,
Yeah.
Jordan had
saved the
Jordan
day.
got up, saved the day. He was like, hang on a sec. So yeah, it worked out. It worked out all right. I think if the rest of the day had been a disaster, we'd have hated the ceremony.
Yeah.
It would have been awful.
Yeah.
But because everything
it was.
after that point was fantastic,
Yeah.
it's just become a funny story now, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
But it was awful.
It was
honestly.
shocking.
It's
It was shocking. You can see us just like looking at each other like, what is she doing? What is she talking about? The reason that we have got a few nice photos from that is because we decided to do Nick's song.
Yeah.
And that was a really nice moment that was captured. And then in the end, we did the vows.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we've at least got a couple where we look like we're half in love. This part of the video is in partnership with Level 8. Stacey over here has just booked a proper banging package holiday to Magaluf with the girls. 7 nights of sun, sangria and suspicious decisions. The only issue is her luggage situation is tragic. But not to worry, Stace had the smarts to jump online and order herself a luminous textured suitcase from Level 8. Lucky for her, it arrived faster than you can say €1 Jaeger bombs. The luminous textured case is lightweight and seriously durable, with a scratch-resistant diamond texture that will stay looking fresh. It's full of smart packing features, meaning it's an absolute breeze to pack everything you need to have a banging week away with the gang. It also features TSA-approved combination locks, meaning your essentials stay secure, even if your holiday decision-making doesn't. Right now, Level 8 are offering an exclusive 10% off all of their lovely luggage pieces when you use the code word MOLINTOM10 at checkout. That's what Stacey did, and she is absolutely buzzing. So click the link in the description below and start travelling in style. After that, we'd planned to do like a bit of a mingle and stuff outside, and the weather was up and down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we managed a little bit.
Yeah, then the weather gave up on us, didn't it?
It gave up on us.
It got really cold, I think, fast. And we could see that the older people were freezing.
Yeah.
And well, I was freezing, to be honest.
Yeah, you were not dressed in any big clothing or anything, were you? So.
No, I was freezing.
Yeah.
So we managed to do some mingle outside. We took some nice photos, and as soon we managed to take like quite a few at least.
Yeah.
And then like halfway through, we're like, all right, we should go and get the kids now. And then it's like started to pour it down.
To rain, yeah.
So then we just got everybody inside anyway.
Yeah, the mingle was sort of like not what we were expecting, really, but there did become some sort of nice moments from it, because when we went inside, for example, we started playing beer pong, which maybe we wouldn't have done.
No.
And then we had all of the stuff with your granddad playing beer pong with all of my English mates.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't understand a word of what each other was saying, but somehow ended up being best mates.
Yeah.
And your granddad became an absolute legend, a beer pong legend. So you had like nice moments like that you maybe wouldn't have otherwise had.
Yeah, true. It was nice in the end. Not what we were planning, but I think it ended up in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. And then from when we went upstairs to have the dinner, everything went smoothly and exactly how we planned it.
Yeah, it was so good at the dinner, and so lovely speeches, and it was just such a nice vibe through the whole dinner, I think.
Yeah. I think everybody who did a speech absolutely smashed it out of the park. And there was representation from every single group.
Yeah.
From all different families, from different parts of friendship groups. And then even our most recent friends, like the vanlife mates.
Yeah.
Albert and Isaac got up and sang a song completely spontaneously, impromptu, unplanned, decided during the dinner that they were going to do something. So it made the whole thing, didn't it? It brought everything together, and it was absolutely spot on.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was so good.
Good luck, everyone. No one knows what's about to happen.
Du är som en blomma, jag är som ett bi. Du är som en kurrande mage och jag är som ett skafferi. Du är som en LP-skiva och jag är som en grammofon. Du är som ett elakt rykte och jag är som en telefon. Du är som en rättslig räkning och jag är som en sparad slant. Vi behöver varann. Du är som en sång av atom och jag är som en luta. Du är som en rysk polis och jag är som en muta. Du är som kinesisk mat och jag är som sötsursås. Du är som ett tätningsmedel och jag är som en hallandsås. Du är som en rödbeta och jag är som ett isterband. Vi behöver varann. Vi behöver varann. Thank you, Malin and Connor. Thank you, David. And thank you, Billy Opel.
Unbelievable! That was not planned an hour ago.
Yeah, so just going back to the Toastmasters, like Alice had planned a couple of little bits, and there was like games throughout the dinner. And...
Yeah. Oh yeah, she'd made that little spinny wheel, hadn't she?
Yeah.
So it was like you rang a little bell, and then you had to spin the wheel,
Yeah.
and then it was a task for us to do.
Yeah, and it was like we had to do a little dance, or we had to kiss,
Wave like
or wave like royalty.
It was really good because it felt like something was always happening. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a boring dinner. It wouldn't have been anyway, but
No.
like it wasn't just the speeches. It was speeches, dinner, little games, a little few bits of here and there. Like it was so good.
There was stuff happening all the time, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So it was really good. And then obviously we had the Swedish traditions that followed with.
Yeah.
Like there's this really fun tradition at weddings where if the groom leaves the room without the bride, then all the men in the room get up and run to the bride and kiss her on the cheek.
Yeah.
And the same the other way around.
Yeah.
And that happened like the first time I went to use the toilet or something.
Yeah, and it was something that we had talked about because we talked about it on Emma's wedding.
Yeah.
And then we were like, let's not tell people about that because it's a really old tradition and it's not something where we're like, this is a super fun thing to do. But then obviously some of the people had discussed it at the tables.
Yeah.
And I was like wondering why people started running, and like from all over, I could just see people like starting to run, and I was like, what is going on? And then I was like, somebody remember this old tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Alice had planned this shoe game.
Yeah.
That's also a Swedish thing, I think.
I think so, yeah. But like in England, we've got that version where you play it with like ping pong bats.
Ah, okay,
It's
yeah.
like pink and blue.
Yes. So in Sweden, you normally the bride and groom take their shoes off.
Yeah.
I didn't have any shoes, but I found some.
Found some shoes, yeah.
And then you have one of my shoes and one of Tom's shoes, and you have the same.
Yeah.
And then it's like these questions, and then you lift up who you think it is, kind of thing. And that was quite fun as well.
Who made the first move? Who's more romantic?
Oh, it's really the cracks are starting to show already, ladies and gentlemen.
Who is more dramatic?
No surprises there, ladies and gents. No surprises there. Who's more stubborn? Yeah, there we go. We can roll those ones quickly in.
Who is the better kisser?
The perfect answer at the end of the wedding day. The perfect answer.
And then, like, the evening, I said everything went to plan, but it didn't really, in a good way, almost. So we went down for our first dance. And
Yeah, and that we rushed a little bit because the kids started to get so tired. You could see
Yes.
on the kids that they were like, I thought Charlie would fall asleep at the table almost. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was like no energy left at all, did he?
No. So we finished up the cake and had some coffee and some drinks and stuff, and then went down for a first dance.
Yeah.
And we did our first dance that we'd planned and practiced a little bit. But we f***ed it up anyway. But it was still fun. And then the sort of bit that we weren't really expecting, we were thinking that when you'd done your first dance, you kick it off with some music, and then you sort of have a bit of a party, a bit of a dance, a bit of a disco or whatever. But because the weather had been bad all day, we'd all sort of been inside for a bit longer than we were planning.
Yeah.
Then the sun came out and it cleared up, and the weather became really, really nice in the evening, like a lovely sort of sunset, nice and warm and whatever.
Yeah.
So everybody ended up going outside. And it was sort of like, oh, okay, well, we thought we were going to have a bit of a dance, but no problem. But actually, we had about 2.5, maybe even 3 hours outside. And we sort of had the mingle that we were planning in the afternoon outside in the evening instead.
It was lovely, actually, because there was so much going on everywhere as well.
Yeah.
Because then it was beer pong again. It was the cornhole, is that what it was called?
Cornhole, yes. Thank you for that. Yeah. Forgot the name of that last week.
And just people enjoying a nice drink. You had that really nice whiskey that your dad had bought, yeah?
My dad had treated us to a 30-year-old whiskey, which is just insane. So we decided to crack that open because it was the only time when I could ever imagine everybody being all together. And I thought there's never really going to be an opportunity again like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a special moment, that was.
Yeah, it was really nice because then you guys were on the deck in there for quite a while, just enjoying a drink and a chat.
Yeah.
The kids were playing games because as soon as they got outside, they got into the second winds, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Like they got so much energy, and Charlie, he was playing games. I think he played cornhole he found a new person. As soon as somebody got bored, he was like, you play with me, you play with me, you play with me. He was probably playing it for like an hour and a half straight.
Yeah.
Poor Harriet, she was playing with him for hours, I think.
And then obviously, speaking of Charlie and games, Charlie got stuck in beer pong.
Yeah, he did.
Charlie was playing beer pong, obviously not drinking.
No,
obviously. But he was on somebody's team and throwing the balls and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just ended up becoming a legend, didn't he?
He did. He was so good at it.
He was.
We got some brilliant photos from that because they were like, it's pure joy, both from Charlie and some of our mates, where it's like, not just, oh, good on you. It was like, you can see it in the pictures that like everybody's so happy that you're there and doing it.
That's it.
I think it was so fun, and it's really, really nice to feel like we got the kids at an age where they could enjoy it with us, and it's not just like we stressed everything to 7 o'clock and then they went to bed.
No.
Like they were up until 11:30 and had a good time up until 11:30.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, exactly. I think that bit in the evening where we ended up being outside, that was my favourite part of the whole day.
Yeah.
The vibe was so good. We ended up gathering everybody all together in front of the arch and like taking photos, which we hadn't planned on at all.
No.
We said from the beginning that we didn't want any like planned posy photos.
Yeah.
But then the Toastmasters had a bit of a different idea.
Yeah.
Jordan started gathering people, and actually some of the photos from that bit are so
really
good. And it was then that I sort of realised, like, this is what I wanted from the whole day. The thing that I was looking forward to most was having everybody gathered up from all different walks of life, where they otherwise wouldn't have even met. Everybody ended up being just good mates.
Yeah, it was really, really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was everything that we wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was such a good day and such a good evening. The whole day, to be honest, because nothing went as planned, did it?
No,
really?
I suppose not.
Like, not even the ceremony where you think you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Like, she just came out of nowhere, didn't she? I think it's a good thing that we're not the people who stress us out when it's not the way that you plan it. Because then I think a lot of the day would have been ruined. But I feel like we were, even if we were a bit stressed when we were setting up on that first Thursday, I feel like we were quite relaxed about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, it is what it is, then it was a good day, because the most important thing was to just celebrate it with all of our mates and our family. Like, that's the whole point. Don't matter how you do it, the whole point is just to be together and have a good day together.
Yeah, because we said that from the beginning. If everything goes wrong, it's still going to be fantastic because everybody's all together.
Yeah, exactly.
That was all that we wanted from the whole thing. And I think that was why it was such a good idea to have quite a small wedding. We only invited like 40 guests.
Yeah.
There was like 38 there in total. And it meant that it was intimate enough that everybody became friends.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what we wanted. So it was spot on. The rest of the evening, it ended up being perfect because we got the best of both worlds. because after we'd been outside and had a sort of evening mingle or whatever, then we ended up going back inside and kicked off the party, didn't we? And it was like dance floor all night, pretty much, after that, wasn't it? And it was like everybody was on the dance floor as well. Parents, friends, everybody from all over the place, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was so good.
So we just wanted to take a second to say a huge thank you to every single person who made the wedding as special as it was. It really was a phenomenal day, and it was thanks to every one of our guests. We did just want to jump in and say an extra special thanks to the photographers. They somehow managed to capture every single special moment of the day in a way that we could never have dreamt of. They really did smash it out of the park all day long. So if you're in Sweden and you're in need of a photographer, Photograph and a Hög are the ones. Insanely skilled, both technically and creatively, and our day wouldn't have been the same without them. So a huge thanks once again to the Högs for being our photographers of the day and just making it as special as it was.
Yeah, I feel like it was just the best day. I feel like it's not just for you and me, but probably for everybody there. I know weddings are always emotional, but it felt like it was very emotional for everybody because 2 years ago, we didn't know that we would stand there today.
No.
It just felt like it was almost like a little milestone that like, we put that behind us, now we're here and now we can celebrate and we can be together and not get married because we have to.
Yeah.
Because we bought the rings over 2 years ago when I got my diagnosis, because then it was like, maybe we have to get married.
We might have to get married for bureaucratic reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And that we didn't do that and we saved it and we made it such a nice day. Just felt like it was, made it even better, didn't it?
Yeah, it was so special because of that. It sort of went without saying. I don't think anybody really talked about you being sick in that way, not even in the speeches. People sort of alluded to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the main theme.
No.
But it was something that everybody had thought about.
Yeah.
And I think it made it really special because you sort of realise that you can't really take anything for granted.
Yeah, exactly.
And that it was, like you said, we were there to celebrate the present and the future. And the fact that just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we didn't know if we were going to be in the position where we could get married in this way.
No.
It made it extremely special, didn't it?
It did.
So all in all, it was a cracking day. It was not what we'd planned, but then again, we hadn't really planned everything down to the last detail.
No, so we hadn't planned much in that way of how it was going to go, did we?
No. So if you're one of the people that made it that special, then huge thanks to you.
Yeah.
Because it was all the guests and the Toastmasters and the venue and everything like that came together and made it the day that it was.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not on us, it's on everybody around, innit?
Yeah, we were just there.
Yeah.
It was everybody else that made it special.
Yeah.
So massive thanks to everybody involved.
God,
and
yeah.
We just can't thank everybody enough, really,
No,
can we?
we can't.
So thank you for joining us anyway, while we've sort of
Rumbled through our wedding.
rambled through what happened on the day of the wedding. Yeah, so all in all, we had a great day at the wedding, didn't we?
Yeah.
You guys were fantastic. You enjoyed it, and you played games, and you guys had the best time ever as well, didn't you?
Yeah. You know what? I was best on beer pong.
You were the best at beer pong. You were a beer pong legend, weren't you, mate? Yes. Yeah, good job. Nice. Huge thanks for following along and joining us. It's massively appreciated. And if you watched it to the end, feel free to hit the subscribe button first of all if you haven't already. But if you fancy supporting the channel in a bit of a different way, head on over to Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
Patreon.com/Marlin and Tom to
And Charlie and Bella.
and Charlie and Bella, but don't put that in the bar, otherwise you won't find the page. But yeah, and Charlie and Bella. And consider supporting the channel over there on Patreon. We'd appreciate it massively. And if you're one of the channel members here on YouTube, you're absolutely golden. It's you guys that are keeping us going.
Yeah,
so,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, go and click the link in the description to get yourself an exclusive discount on level 8 suitcases. Top quality premium luggage pieces. We love level 8. Also, while you're poking around in the description, click the link to check out Photograph and a Herg on Instagram. Our photographers from the wedding who had a huge part in making our day phenomenal. Thanks again to Photograph and a Herg. Leave us a little comment and a thumbs up and stuff. And otherwise,
We'll see you next week.
we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
We see you next week. Today.